What's going on, guys? Morning and welcome to Formula 7 racing here in Belgium for the Bronze Division, and I'm just going to do a quick sound check. Just let me check that, guys, because when Mad G subscribed, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the sub, Mad G. It should have come up with a sound as well. So let me just check that. I want to see what it sounds like with the engines, and then we'll get going. Right, I think that should be okay as we are on board with Mad G. Yeah, sounds good to me, okay. Please remember, guys, I can't do any more checks as I'm on board with drivers, so if it does sound different, just let me know so I can update it if it's not right. So I think Mad G is the first driver out. Oliver James is just in front of him, but he is a reserve, so we will stay on board with Mad G to see what he can do in the Ferrari driver. Isaac Hadjar has won the feature race at Spa as well. So on board with Mad G, 18 drivers here in Spa de Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. Remember, guys, we are live on all platforms. We are live on TikTok, Instagram. We are live on Twitch, on YouTube, on Kick, and on Twitter, or X, as we like to call it. So, on board with Mad G. Let me see if that works now. 1 second. Anyway, it's not a big deal, but I do like the sound of the notifications when they are coming through. It's really good for the drivers. It's some weeks it'll work and some weeks it won't, but hey. Right, so let's go. Let's get down to business and let's get racing. So we are on board with Mad G. He's still got that RB in front of him as he comes through Beaufrere Curb and down Blanchemont. And then we are going down towards the bus stop chicane for the Ferrari driver. And let's see what the Scuderia can do with the benchmark here in qualifying. The sun is shining, that's always good around Belgium, as he just squirrels out of the bus stop chicane. And Maggi with a 1:45.0 at the moment. He does have his teammate of Ciari Gori right behind him as he comes out the bus stop chicane, and it's a 1:44.6 for Gori to the line. Spears in the Alpine is going to be next as well. Jornborn in at the Williams, and then we do have a couple of drivers just coming towards the line. Doug on an outlap. We do have Red Wildfire coming down towards the bus stop chicane now as well. She had a good finish last week. She just slides through there in the Sauber. Out of turn 20 to the line goes the Sauber driver, and it's P4 a 1:45.9. So she did lose a little bit of time through the middle there. Nimble Cat is going to be next into the bus stop chicane through turn 19 and 20. DRS enabled as soon as you come out of the two chicanes down towards the line, and Nimble Cat goes P2 with a 1:44.8 here in Spa. You do have Bradders coming down towards the line as well. There is a few reserves here this morning, so a lot of drivers that won't finish the race. Jornborn onto the grass. Spears, LT Spears with his debut race. He's currently in the Alpine and on a lap. We've got Viva on a lap. Sergio Silva in the Mercedes just starting his flying lap. We've got Doug as well. Jornborn disqualified. Thank you, Jornborn. Oliver James will have to do the same, but we'll just stay on board with Doug a minute as he just comes through. I'm just trying to find out where he is. Through Campus at turn 14, and then down towards Stavelot at turn 15. And then in towards sector 3 we go for the Haas driver, through Paul Frere and down towards Blanchimont for Doug. And then sorry, I was thinking of Don Dead, Doug, the British driver, through Blanchimont and down towards the bus stop chicane. The Haas drivers currently leading the Constructors' Championship battle here in the Bronze Division. Through the bus stop chicane, LT Spears a 1:43.7, wow. And Doug a 1:45.4. So that is Vincenzo 1:44.8. So the initial thoughts is that Spears might be in the wrong division here on his debut race. Sergio Silva in the Mercedes down towards Stavelot at turn 15. Just let me know about the audio, guys, if there is any issues. It's so annoying that I can't get the sound up, but hey. So into the bus stop chicane goes Sergio Silva, the Portuguese driver. Out of turn 20, DRS enabled, ERS is on, and he goes up to P2. You can't be in that wrong division. Sergio Silva is right on his tail with a 1:43.8. That's a very, very quick lap. Viva also just starting his flying lap. And Demrod as well. It just came through Les Combs and down towards turn 10. You have Brussels. You see the fans in the hammocks in the trees above as they watch him as he comes through turn 11 and down towards turn 12 up Pujon. And the RB driver flat out but loses it, doesn't invalidate it, but just a snap of the rears as he comes through turn 12, and that will have cost him a lot of time as he goes down towards turn 14 at Campus, and he will back out and try again. Viva now is going to be next through turn 13 and 14. The RB just in front of him. And it down towards Stavelot at turn 15 for the AMG driver. And Viva has gone purple sector 2. He is flying here as he goes through Paul Frere and down towards Blanchimont. As he goes flat out, he's not even using his battery. I think, is he going to go again? He's not even touching his battery here, Viva. In towards the bus stop chicane. No, he is going to put the lap on the board, but I think he's just building his battery to go again, but that'll cost him a lot of time. 1:45.1 without even touching his battery. So Viva will go again, maybe back into the pit lane for a little bit. So no driver is on a lap now. So Don Dedge is going to be the next driver to set a lap. He's currently the championship leader, which is interesting. The championship leader, that is Don Dedge. We will ride on board with him. So, coming through the chicanes. Through Brussels at turn 10, in towards turn 11 for the Haas driver of Don Dedge, the championship leader, as he now burns the battery down towards Puhorn at turn 12. He needs to get this right, and he does, right on the limits of the chicane to the right hand side, and then down towards turn 13 and 14 we go. The Haas driver knows what's on the line here. 7 minutes of this qualifying session remain for the Haas driver. In towards Stavelot, turn 15, and down towards 16. A purple sector 2 for the championship leader. Through Paul Frere and down towards Blanchemont. Through sector 3, just burning that battery now. Remember, no DRS, which you always think is criminal going through there. Down towards the bus stop chicane at turn 19 and 20 for Don Dedge. Over the curb 19, over the curb at 20. DRS enabled, ERS is on, down to the line, and it's a 1:44.2 for Don Dedge, the Haas driver. Provisional second row at the moment. Ginaudi in the Sauber is going to be next towards the line. What can he do? P3 for Ginaudi, and that is on the medium tyres. So other than Sergio Silva and Spears, Ginaudi has gone faster than everyone else on the mediums. He did that last week as well. Ginaudi is definitely in contention to be challenging in silver or bronze, depending on how much he wants to practice per track. He's definitely a very good driver. Through Stavelot and down towards Curb Paul Frere. And Destroyer Drac, his debut race in the bronze division. Now a full-time Williams driver, the Indian. And he's used his deployment. That's very early on as he goes into the bus stop chicane. Will that compromise his lap as he goes in towards turn 20? His debut race in the bronze division, P5 for Destroyer Drac. That is a fantastic opening for him. Viva is going to go again. That is Destroyer just, he spins it going into towards turn 1. We've got CRE Gori on a lap as well. Vincenzo just coming through Puhorn at turn 12. The yellow flags are waving the drivers, just moving out the way. We do have two drivers who are very close together down the Kemmel Straight. Oh no, they're both backed out, sorry. That is Ginaudi. That is on his way into the pit lane to go again. It's quite a long lap here. Nimbucat on an out lap as well. So it is going to be Vincenzo that is going to be next. The Aston Martin driver down to the bus stop chicane for him. Through to 19 and 20, a little bit deep into 20. DRS enabled. Vincenzo goes P5. But the problem is because Belgium is such a long track, like a minute and 3/4 to get round, it's hard to judge because you've basically got to get, if you are on an in-lap, CRE Gori has just gone up to P3. Wow! CRE Gori in the Scuderia has just out-qualified Ginaudi by 4/1000ths of a second. Yeah, if you invalidate your lap and you're on an in lap, it's getting very cloudy actually. Look at that, it started off with blue skies. You've basically got to do 1:45 minutes and maybe 2 minutes to get round, because you're obviously not on a flyer. 2 minutes to get round and get to go into the pit lane and then get out and go again, so call it 3 minutes. So you're talking 5 minutes if you invalidate your lap time to get in, to go out and go round and get a lap in again. So it's a very long lap. It's not like your typical Austria where you're talking a 1:10 and that's not even on a flyer. You're talking maybe even 1:03, 1:04 on a flyer. 1:10 into the pit lane, 30 seconds in there, back out a minute. You're talking 2.5 minutes to get back out and do another lap. Here you're talking 5. So Nimble Cat in the McLaren. He's down on his lap time, but he's not used any of his battery. Mercs that lap, I agree. Demrod on an out lap, just pulling out at Radalon. So Sergio Silva now on an out lap. So is Maggi. Oh, Maggi's on a flyer actually. He's just coming through Les Combs at turn 9. And Nimble Cat is behind him as he comes up a Rouge and down the Kemmel straight for the Papaya, but it is going to be Maggi who's going to touch the line first and will be the final driver to set his lap here in Spa de Francorchamps. Through Buhon for the Scuderia, and the Haas driver just moving out of the way nicely done. Oh, it's just a slight lock up there from the Ferraris. He went in towards turn 13. He uses the outside curb through Campus and in towards Stavelot at turn 15. It is a purple sector 2 for Maggi through curb Paul Frere and down towards Blanchimont, and through the curb, the corner with no name at turn 18. Vincenzo is out. He retires in the pit lane. He knows he hasn't got time to go again. Into the bus stop chicane for Maggi, the Ferrari driver. This is his final run. Maggi to the line. Maggi goes P8. That is going to be his best starting position in this Grand Prix. Red Wildfire has just started her last lap. Demrod is about to come to the line to go for his final run. We've got a Haas driver. That is Doug getting ready to go again. Nimble Cat, he is 3 attempts up. This is his final run. He runs wide. He keeps it valid. Nimble Cat to the line. Nimble Cat, P10. We do have a Mercedes. That is Sergio Silva. That is Ginaudi onto the gravel. He's not going to set a lap on them soft compounds. Sergio Silva coming through the corner with no name through to the bus stop chicane for the Portuguese driver in towards turn 19 and 20 for the Mercedes AMG Petronas driver. Sergio Silva to the line. Sergio goes pole. Sergio Silva is on pole for the Belgian Grand Prix. What about the Alpine of Spears, who's invalidated it? 1 run is all he needed. He's provisional front row at the moment. We do have Destroyer coming through on an outlap. He's got 20 seconds to reach the line. He is going to reach the line. Hopefully the rain doesn't come before then, because it looks very murky out there. The Mercedes of Viva also just about to touch the line. You've got Oliver James as well, who might just miss it. He just gets to it. We've got the Haas of Don Dedge on an outlap. He's going to be very close to the line. 2 seconds. Wow, the checkered flag has waved. Thierry Goring, Ginaudi can do no more. We've got the 2 kick Saubers. Ginaudi is going to give a slipstream to his teammate. That's all he can do now into the bus stop chicane. He's got his teammate right on his tail. That's Red Wildfire, is currently in P13, but there's nothing that Ginaudi could do to help her. Red Wildfire goes up to P12. She will be bitterly disappointed with that. Demrod to the line, goes P10. Demrod up to the top 10. Doug is into the pit lane. He will start in P14, and that is 2 bad qualifyings in 2 weeks for Doug. What about Nimble Cat into the pit lane? He goes. So does the Ferrari of Maggi. What about the Mercedes of Sergio Silva into the pit lane? Oliver James disqualifies himself. Thank you very much. This is Spears. Did get to the line. He's gone purple set to do. He's nearly 2 temps up. This could be pole position on his debut for LT Spears. We've also got a driver just behind him. That is Destroyer Drag, who's 6 temps up in that Williams. LT Spears will be the first driver to the line as he comes down towards the bus stop chicane in the Alpine. Into turn 19 and 20, Sergio Silva currently on pole position, but for how long? The Alpine driver to the line, slips out, stays P2. It looked like he lost a lot of time to the line. Destroyer goes P3. Provisional second row, Viva's backed out there. Here comes Don Dedge, the championship leader, into the bus stop chicane. What can he do? Currently holds the championship in his hands. Down to the line here in Belgium, P3. Provisional second row. Viva is not going to improve as he goes into the pit lane. And that is it for qualifying here in Spa. So Sergio Silva does take pole position. The Portuguese driver is on top. LT Spears, the Belgium driver, at his home Grand Prix in P2. Without that slip, there's no doubt in my mind that he would have taken that pole position. Don Dedge takes P3, destroying the Williams on his debut in P4. CRE Gory P5. Ginaudi on the mediums in P6. Vincenzo in P7. Viva, after backing out on his final run in P8. Maggi in P9, and Demrod with a top 10 start here in Belgium. Nimblecat in P11. Red Wildfire in P12. Doug in P13. And then we have a couple of reserves with Jade Lab, Bradders, Merckx, Oliver James and Yornborn in your top 18. Yeah, I agree, Alvaro. Nice to see you, mate. Vamos, Sergio. Alvaro, I watched a documentary the other day about a Brazilian footballer who played for Porto, who was like one of the best out-and-out goal scorers in the early 2000s. Cheers, Alvaro. Thank you. And it was incredible to see that, like, he's not a massive name. Well, he probably was at the time. Yeah, Jardel, that was it, yeah. Unbelievable player. Like, he had a record of like 254 goals in like 248 games. Unbelievable. He's scoring like 40 goals a season at Porto. And it was crazy. I'd never heard of him. But he had, like, his stats were compared to like Messi and Ronaldo. And then he went to Sporting Lisbon, he won the Golden Boot. He won the European Golden Boot playing for Porto, and then went to Sporting and won the league with them. Yeah, it was unbelievable. So there is rain in the race. That makes it very interesting. There's always rain in the race when it comes to Spa. So we do have a formation lap. Ah, right, yeah, Alvaro, yeah, that was it. Yeah, it said something like that. So, positional change, telemetry, lap data. We need the lap data, not the telemetries, though. The devil dust, Alvaro, the devil dust. Sergio Silva on pole position. This is going to be a cracker of a race as the drivers just warm up the tyres. Let's have a look actually what tyres they are starting on. Wow, some drivers, a lot of drivers are opting for the softs. So Sergio, Spears and Don Dedge will start on the medium compound tyres. Then you've got Destroyer, Gory and Ginaudi on the softs. Vincenzo, only one of 2 drivers on the hards. Then you've got Viva on the softs, Maggi on the mediums, Demrod and Nimblecat on the softs, Red Wildfire on the mediums, Doug on the softs, Jake the Lad and Bradders also on the mediums, Merckx on the softs, Oliver James on the hards, and Yornborn on the mediums. So we don't know when the rain's going to come. If any of the drivers would politely just update us to when it's due, that would be good for us. But it's always interesting when there's rain due in Belgium. Halfway through, cheers Vincenzo, appreciate it, mate. Remember guys, make sure you follow us on TikTok. It's Formula 7 Racing. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. That is at Formula 719. And make sure you follow us on Instagram. It's Formula_7_. That's it. Make sure you follow us on all the socials to get all the updates. I've not been sort of updating them recently, but obviously I had my grandfather pass away and things like that. So I'm getting back into it, guys. Don't worry. Remember our partner leagues as well. GXRS, MSCF1 and Aeon Racing League. But here we go now, and our sponsor as always is Rock Solid Rigs. So here we go, this is it for the Grand Prix here in Spa de France. I can't even say it. I'm just going to say Spa. Right, let's go. Right, here we go for round 6 for the Bronze Division, sponsored by Rock Solid Rigs. And it's lights out and away we go. Down towards turn 1 of the source, and that is Spears has gone clean into the wall. Destroyer is already up 2 and at the front row of this grid. Dante stays in position. There's a huge pile up at the back. That's Nimble Cat that's onto the gravel. With Jake the Lad in the Red Bull. Doug in the Haas is right there as well. Spears at the back of this grid with a missing end plate. Sergio Silva up into the Kemmel Straight is the race leader. Sergio Silva and Destroyer tracking the Williams right on his tail. You've got Gennady Viva in the Mercedes coming up the inside. That is Gennady in the Sauber, who just stays in front of Viva. CRE Gory down 1 position. Maggi in the Ferrari and Vincenzo in the Aston Martin as they go down towards Brussels at turn 10. The Ferrari will go the long way round, and it is Maggi that goes in front of Vincenzo. Red Wildfire up 2 places and into the top 10, but she's got Bradders in a McLaren clattering into her rear wheel. Oliver James up 5, Yornborn up 5 as well. Nimble Cat down 3, but Spears down 16 and looking for a pit stop, but with such a long lap ahead of him. Bradders is through on Red Wildfire now. Sergio Silva 4 attempts clear of Destroyer track. The Portuguese driver, the Indian driver, the Nigerian driver, the Dutch driver, all in the top 4 here on the opening lap of the Belgium Grand Prix in Spa. Down through Paul Frere they go at turn 16, down towards Blanchimont. Can Gennady get the move done on Don Dedge? He's already outside DRS of Destroyer track. He's lost it, the championship leader. They've got Viva in the Mercedes right over the rear diffuser as they go down in towards the bus stop chicane. Can he make the move? Maggi on the back of Demrod as well, who's up into P7. He will enjoy the sights of that. Remember, so many drivers on different strategies. Sergio Silva at the end of lap 1 though is your race leader. Bradders is through on Vincenzo. Spears is into the pit lane. Here comes Vincenzo. He's going to try and make a move on Bradders. Into Radalon and Upper Rouge they go to the Kemmel Straight. He looks like he was a bit more fearless as Gennady goes through on Don Dedge down the Kemmel Straight. So does Viva, and the 2 drivers with DRS will get through as they go down in towards Les Combs at turn 7, 8 and 9. And the Haas driver of Don Dedge still looking for a move on Viva. CRE Gory is there. Demrod up to P7. Maggi on his tail. But it's a good start to this Grand Prix. Wow, what an opening lap. What an international top 5. Absolutely, Alvaro. Jake the Lad is through on Yornborn, the Red Bull driver, now up to P13 after that collision on the opening lap, and into the gravel he went. There goes Bradders on Maggi. Bradders lunges down the inside of the Ferrari driver. And Maggi just knows that he won't be finishing the race, so just be patient. Don't worry about that, Maggi. But Bradders, please be patient. Don't go taking drivers out. That is Viva in the Mercedes and he's off the track. He's back on carefully and safely and just about hangs on. And he is still in P8. Maggi just backing out there. There's Jake the Lad and Oliver James. The 2 sister cars swapping places. Look how close these three are as they go in towards the bus stop chicane. Maggi on the back of Viva. Viva on the back of Bradders. Oh, he went a little bit deep there, Viva. And Maggi might be able to make the move. Here comes Sergio Silva. That is Destroyer Track. And Sergio Silva then a wheel-to-wheel through La Source. Remember, Sergio on the mediums, Destroyer on the softs. Out of La Source they go, down towards Radalon. And then uphill, and Destroyer will get the DRS on the Mercedes, so will Ginaudi. Down the Kemmel straight out of Arouge, and it is going to be the Williams driver that will take the lead of the Belgium Grand Prix. Look at that for DRS. He's going to try and go up the inside as they go in towards Les Combs. Ginaudi didn't make the move. Destroyer is your race leader. He makes a slight mistake. Can Sergio come back at him as he comes out of turn 8 and 9 and down towards Brussels at turn 10? But Destroyer is your race leader on lap 3. Sergio Silva right on his tail on that rear diffuser. Ginaudi, CRE Corey, DRS is all the way through the track down towards P16 is DRS. If Nimblecat catches up to Merckx a little bit, it's the full track of DRS. Incredible. Oliver James with that 3-second time penalty. Destroyer just sliding out a little bit on lap 3, goes a little bit deep through there, and he's got to be careful because he is on the soft compounds. He will be waiting for them clouds to just drift over the mountains and through the forests here in Belgium, and he will be waiting. There's going to be a lot of change in positions. So, Destroyer Drac is your race leader going into the bus stop chicane. Sergio Silva on his tail. Ginaudi is there as well. What about Jane the Lad on Red Wildfire? Red Wildfire will go up the inside. She loves a good battle and she will give it her everything. And she'll see Oliver James behind. And in towards La Source, and it is Jake the Lad who goes up to P11. What about Oliver James? He's going to try and make the move as well on them hard compounds. Nimblecat and Doug fighting for position. Doug in the Haas side by side, wheel to wheel with the McLaren, and up to P16. Remember, we will have a few DNFs at the end of this race through the reserves. This is Ginaudi on Sergio Silva, side by side, go the old foes in towards Les Combs, but it is Sergio that holds on. Beautiful. Nimblecat with that DRS will move back up to P16. Yornborn, Merckx, Red Wildfire. Look at this for racing. Round the outside goes Yornborn on Merckx in the Alpine. Can Merckx hold on as he has the inside line? He does, but he's got the outside line. The Williams driver, he's got the grip, and the grip is the one that comes out on top. Beautifully done, Jake the Lad on the back of Vincenzo for a top 10 position now. So look at this, only not even a second separate the top 4, and we are on lap 4. Demrob with a time penalty, that's going to be crucial come the end of this Grand Prix. Now tactics will really start to come into play. Oh, Destroyer's just got a 3-second time penalty from the lead of the Grand Prix. Vincenzo and Jake the Lad are squabbling, so are Bradders and CRE Gory. Bradders just dives his way through. Sergio Silva will take the position off Destroyer, so will Ginaudi. Destroyer is driving really slow, and Bradders is that is a stupid move. When you're a reserve driver, to absolutely throw it up the inside into turn 1 there is just stupid, and that just looks to me like the reserve driver just wants to be the leader. That is really silly. Please Bradders, be careful. You're a reserve driver and you're fighting with drivers that are full-time drivers competing for the race win here. Please be careful, mate. That was such a huge lunge for no reason. Just please be careful. Battle fairly, give these guys space. Just remember, you don't finish this race anyway, these guys do. Please just bear that in mind. Sergio Silva is your race leader. Ginaudi in P2, Destroyer in P3. You've got Bradders right on the back of Don Des, the McLaren driver. Jake the Lad is through on Demrod. Bradders will look for an opening on Don Dej. Will he go up the inside? Just thinks better of it. That's what I'm talking about. Nicely done from Bradders. Will be a bit more patient there and wait for an opening. Good stuff from Bradders. So Vincenzo and Viva, P10 and P11. Oliver James is there, Yornbot, Merckx, Red Wildfire, Doug, Nimblecat and LT Spears is just on them softs waiting for that safety car, waiting for the rain, waiting for anything at this point with 17 laps to go. Bradders in the McLaren in P5 now is through on Don Dedge, the championship leader. Bradders is all over the rear diffuser of that Ferrari. Will he go around the outside? He will do. And CRE Gory might not, nothing he can do about that. And CRE Gory sees the back of the papaya just fly away now. Ginaudi will be your race leader surely as they come out of La Source and go down towards Radalon. Ginaudi will get the DRS in the Sauber. Destroyer Drac will also get the DRS. Bradders on his tail. CRE Gory and Don Dedge follow shortly behind. Out through Radalon and Arouge. Down the Kemmel Straight we go. The Sauber driver. The two friend turned foes. Down towards Les Combs. And it is Ginaudi that makes it 4 race leaders in 6 laps. Beautifully done. Don Dedge is through on CRE Gory, and Maggi also takes the position off his teammate. We seen it last week in Hungary. There was no team orders in the Ferrari garage. Look at this, there's a bit of a pile up behind between the Alpine Mercedes and the Visa Cash App RP. What's going on, Fear Jack? How you doing? Beautiful racing, not a single DNF, which is great to see. But yeah, we seen it last week in Hungary between Maggi and CRE Gory. There's absolutely no team orders in that Ferrari garage. And they were squabbling and just nearly took each other out at the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix. But yeah, there must be some communication there between these two Ferrari drivers that just says, listen, I know we're going to fight. We're very, very similar paced. Maggi and CRE Gory have been within about half a second. The rain's come. The rain is here. The rain is here. This is great for the soft runners. Bradders on Sergio Silva is through the McLaren. And it's straight into the pit lane goes Bradders. So does Sergio Silva. Sergio Silva was in P2, but I think he lost a load of positions. Trying to get into the pit lane there. So many drivers have jumped straight into the pit lane. Wow, this could change the whole race. But as I was saying, CRE Gory and Maggi are so similar on pace because in qualifying they've been within about 0.2 of a second of each other every round. So they are always going to battle closely. There goes Don Dedge. Remember, DRS is still enabled. The championship leader up to P2. What about Maggi now on the back of Destroyer? If these guys who have stayed out, let's get the tyres up. We need to watch the tyres here. If these guys that have stayed out can get a good, decent lap in, this could be massive. If Bradders, Sergio Vincenzo, there's a huge snap from Destroyer. Here comes Maggi now. He's looking for an opening. The Ferrari driver down towards Puhon turn 12, but it looks like it's just about still dry. Now, if these drivers like Bradders, Sergio Vincenzo, Demrod, Jonborn, and Oliver James have pitted for the intermediates very, very early on, this could be a real bad move for them, and they could find themselves tumbling down the order. As you're looking at Spears now, he's overtook Oliver James. He's on the softs. There goes Maggi on Destroyer Drac, who's had another mistake. Jake the Lad is all over the rear diffusers to go through Paul Frere and down towards Blanchimon and in towards the corner with no name is Don Dedge and Ginaudi up towards the bus stop chicane. Are they going to pit for the intermediates? I think some drivers could potentially try and stay out on the dries for another lap here. Don Dedge is into the pit lane. Maggi is in. Destroyer's in. Jake the Lad stays out. He has chanced it. Every other driver is into the pit lane. Doug is also in. If I was on the mediums, like maybe Red, maybe Don Dedge and Jake the Lad has stayed out, I'd have probably done one more lap. Right, let's have a look where Sergio Silva is. Oh God, it's intermediates. It's absolutely intermediates because Sergio Silva is going to come back through way into the lead of this Grand Prix, is he? He's not. He's going to come out just behind Destroyer Drac. but he's going to make the move at the bottom of a Rouge. You don't see that very often. The Mercedes balls a steal through Radulon and a Rouge, but he's now left himself open. They've both got the DRS. The Williams moves over to the right. The Mercedes defends as they go down towards Les Combs. But now it is Bradders provisionally in the lead of this Grand Prix. Then Janawi, Don Dej and Mad G. So it was very equal with the dries and the intermediates. Red Wildfire is tussling with Oliver James and Yornborn. But Red Wildfire is one of the drivers that you know has the racing IQ and the racing ability right up there with some of the best drivers around. So if there's anybody that can be patient and work with this, it's her, and obviously Nimblecat as well behind. So the gap is not extending here. Jake the Lad and Bradders are just sort of dwindling between the same amount of time. Obviously Bradders is a goal driver as he goes off on them intermediates, makes a huge mistake. Very lucky not to spin it there through Paul Frere. DRS, he's still enabled at the minute. The rain is coming down. You can see it just starting to bounce off the circuit. You can see the raindrops now on the track. So this is interesting. DRS will be disabled soon. Here comes Merckx on Vincenzo, the Alpine on the Aston Martin. He's just getting a bit of practicing for the dry and the wet. So Jake the Lad finally into the pit lane. So it is Bradders that leads, but it is Janaudi that is actually the race leader, who is 2.5 seconds in front of Don Dej. Mad G is provisional podium position at the moment. Oh, look at this. Mad G on Don Dej, down the Kemmel Straight towards Les Combs. What about Sergio Silva and Jake the Lad? Jake the Lad will make the move down the inside in towards turn 7. And the Red Bull driver up to P5. What about Merckx on CR Gori and Vincenzo as they go in towards Les Combs as well? The track is still so very closely knit. The Sauber driver, Bradders, gets a 3 second. Oliver James with a huge lunge there. Red Wildfire, no. Red Wildfire needs to keep ahead here because I can see the frustration starting to kick in as Destroyer in the Williams is round. DRS is disabled on the intermediate tyres. The Williams has spun it and down to P12, and Destroyer, who was in a very strong position, destroying his opposition, is now down to P12 after the spin through Brussels. So Yornborn, his teammate, right on his tail, and look at this, Destroyer is struggling. He's really struggling now. Maybe not the conditions that he's very fond of. Is he missing an M plate? He is missing an M plate. Oh, here comes Oliver James and Red Wildfire. As I was saying before, Destroyer brought me back into action. Red Wildfire can get very frustrated here. And I can understand her frustrations, but she's got a cool head. She needs to just stay cool here and just bear with the race, because she's got people like Oliver James and Yornborn in front of her who are battling with her, and she will be thinking in her head, this is not the battle that I need to be in right now. This is frustrating for me, and I completely understand that. But knowing Red Wildfire, she'll keep her head, she'll stay sort of in touch with these guys and wait for opportunities to open up, exactly the same as Nimblecat right on her tail. Vincenzo, look at this on the back of CRE. Go remember, DRS is disabled as Vincenzo has a huge snap at the top of a Rouge. Down the Kemmel Straight we go. Here comes Merckx on Viva. The two UFRL drivers swapping positions as they go into Les Combs, and UFRL Merckx up to P7. Jake the Lad on the back of Don Dej, and then we've got Oliver James on Yornborn, the RB and the Williams going down in towards Les Combs, side by side. You don't want to go wheel to wheel through here, through turn 7 and 8. And that was fantastic driving from the pair of them. Fair play to these two. And in towards Brussels for the drivers at turn 10. Just a slight slip of the tyres of the intermediates. Hopefully it's not raining for the remainder of the Grand Prix. I do hope that it dries back up before the end. That would be very interesting. And down towards Buhon at turn 12. Oliver James goes wide, just eases off the throttle. to avoid any punishment. Doug on the back of Red Wildfire. The constructors, leaders down the inside of the Sauber. And Jake the Lad is front on Des, but we're just on board with Doug and Red Wildfire. And that is great defending from the Sauber driver. In towards Stavelot. That's a driver that's just slipped in front. That's Oliver James in the RB, who's just trying to hold off now as they go through Paul Frere and down towards Blanchimont. Red Wildfire in the Sauber is through, and Doug will now have to operate a visa. Oh, look at that RB just in front of him. Doug had to back out for his own safety there. Vincenzo on the back of CRE Corey. Remember, Bradders is a gold driver. He will not be finishing this Grand Prix, so just bear that in mind if you are watching. If you are watching on Twitch, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on X, or on Kick, make sure you follow us, please, and thank you very much. It would be massively appreciated. And exclamation mark Discord in the chat if you do want to come and join us. F7R we have 412 members in the Discord at the moment. We have 15,400 followers on TikTok. We have 2,200 on YouTube. We have 1,300 on Twitch. We are the most followed F1 esports league in the world. That is official. We are the most followed F1 esports league in the world. So if you want to get out there, and if you want to be part of the team, if you want to be a driver, this is the place to race. So Vincenzo did get through on CRE Corey and up to P9. Doug is now going for attempt number 2 down towards Pujon on the Sauber driver. That is a yellow flag, and that is, I think, Destroyer or Spears. That is Destroyer onto the gravel. Still, we've had no VSC, we've had no SC. Jake the Lad is through on Maggi. I'm just throwing these out. Like a poet here in Belgium. Ginaldi is staying in touch with Bradders, which is surprising, actually. He's 5 seconds clear, Jake the Lad. That is Doug that is finally from Red Wildfire through the corner with no name and up towards the bus stop chicane. Yornborn. Denrod is into the pit lane. Did he get damage, or is he just pitting for fresh intermediates? Let's just stay on board with Denrod and see what his alternative strategy is. He's not going to go full wets, is he? No, yeah, fresh intermediates till the end of the Grand Prix. Maybe a smart decision, actually. That is Merckx on Sergio Silva. Sergio won't put up too much of a battle there. He knows that Merckx won't be finishing the Grand Prix. And he makes a slight mistake, goes a little bit deep through turn 8 at Les Combs. And Sergio Silva now back on his tail. He does have his teammate Viva behind. The Mercedes drivers are definitely in contention for the constructors battle with the Haas drivers, so these two will definitely work together for the remainder of this Grand Prix. Mr. Poem, how are you, mate? I hope you're doing well. Bradders in gold, Ginaldi staying with him. Yeah, it's definitely something we need to look at, mate. Ginaldi's actually pulling away from Jake the Lad. Gravy brain, no patty, absolutely not, no. Viva 3 attempts behind Sergio Silva. That is Doug on the back of Nimblecat. Nimblecat up to P12. He's actually into the points again, Nimblecat. He's so consistent. Here comes Doug around the outside. The Haas driver through the chicanes. And Doug holding on to that for dear life and up to P12. I'm glad you're good, mate. He's still one of the best drivers I've commentated on, Mr. Holland, on one of your races as well. I think it was Qatar. Nimblecat in the McLaren all over the Haas of Doug. Ginaldi's actually catching up to Bradders now, and he's extending the gap to Jake the Lad. Wow. Remember, Bradders does have a time penalty. Oh, a little snap from Nimblecat, but he's just holding on. You can see the strain of the wheel as he's coming through the chicanes and just trying to hold on. That is Spears on Yornborn because he's into the pit lane. Mercs is through on Don Dedge. Viva and Sergio Silva swap positions. Is that tactical? Yeah, Jack, that's why I didn't say anything. I'm just saying, yeah, he's not here. I'm not going to go into details. I'm not here to slander people unless they slander me. And that's it. We're here to commentate on a race. We're here to commentate on brilliant racing, brilliant drivers, and 18 drivers after 13 laps of racing, and half of it being in the rain here in Belgium without a single yellow flag. So yeah, this is what we're talking about. Exceptional racing. If drivers aren't on the grid, they're not here. Don Dedge on the back of Mercs. Ginaudi is now within a second of Bradders in front. So Sergio Silva and Viva definitely got to work together. Nimble Cat in the McLaren on the back of Doug. My razor cut. How Demrod and Yornborn go wheel to wheel in the rain, side by side still as they go down towards Stavelot. Yornborn goes in front of Demrod in the RB. Can he respond as they go down in towards Paul Frere? Brothers, how are you even typing in the chat? Here comes Demrod on Yornborn. He got a better exit as he goes down towards Blanchemont. Round the outside goes the RB, the long way round for Demrod and up to P16. In towards the bus stop chicane, late on the brakes was Yornborn. Sorry guys, just having a drink. Here comes Yornborn up the inside of the RB. In towards La Source. Demrod is just back in front with a nose, but Yornborn is going to come back. They're just flicking through positions, through Radalon and Upper Rouge. Wow, down the Kemmel Straight. You don't see side-by-side racing like that very often. Wow, down the Kemmel Straight we go. Demrod into the slipstream with the Williams as we go in towards Les Combs. And Demrod backs out, but he was late on the brakes and just slips the rears. That's a yellow flag. That is yellow flags waving. I'm just trying to look on track to see who that is. And it was just a brief yellow flag. Ginaudi now all over the back of Bradders. That is Oliver James, who is through on Nimblecat. Fantastic racing here, it really is. So Nimblecat just struggling with the rears, where Wildfire's starting to catch up. And Mercs on the back of Mad G as well. In towards La Source, Doug with a 3-second time penalty. And as it stands, he would lose 3 positions through that 3-second time penalty. CRE Gorey is into the pit lane. Is it fresh inters for CRE Gorey? I think a lot of drivers are going to try and go to the end on intermediates. I genuinely believe going for the 2-stopper now is a huge advantage. Sorry, oh, late on the brakes is Mercs. And to avoid clattering into the back of the Ferrari, he goes onto the grass. You could see there Mercs just... Demrod has gone into the pit lane and retired. Anything can happen in Spa as well. Yeah, fair play to Mercs there, because he knew he was about to... He'd brake late, he was about to hit the back, and he just moved out the way, so fair play to him. I think if I was somebody like Red Wildfire, Nimblecat maybe as well, I think I would chance going to fresh inters to the end of the Grand Prix. Because for me, the laps are what, 2 minutes a lap in the wets, if not a little bit longer, probably maybe 2:10. So you're talking you've still got probably 18 minutes of the Grand Prix to race in. On intermediates that you've been on for around 12 minutes already, or, you know, around 7-8 laps. I believe if you pitted now on intermediates, you would maybe possibly catch up to the front runners on old intermediates by the end of this Grand Prix, and you would be a lot quicker. I think these drivers are really going to start to feel the effects of these old intermediates. But here we go, Ginaudi and Bradders for the lead of this Grand Prix. And Ginaudi into the slipstream of the McLaren. It's Ginaudi and Bradders. Here comes the Sauber driver, the Flying Dutchman, down the Kemmel Straight towards Les Combs, but unable to get the overtake this time. Vincenzo is into the pit lane. He's thinking the exact same as me. The Aston Martin driver is in for fresh inters. Nimblecat and Red Wildfire stay out. Nimblecat goes deep. Red Wildfire tries the old switcheroo, but hits the back of the McLaren. They are going to just go in front of Vincenzo. Wow. Red Wildfire gets cut off by the McLaren. In towards Radalon, the Aston Martin and the Sauber driver. Here comes Spears in the Alpine. Wow. Brilliant, brilliant stuff here. Down the Kemmel Straight, Spears will try and make the move on Red Wildfire. Was Red Wildfire entitled to a little bit more space there as she went towards Radalon and the bottom of Arouge? I would say so. If I... 1,000,000% if I'm Red Wildfire now, at this point you have nothing to lose. In fact, actually, because you've got Bradders, Jake the Lad, Merckx, all going to pit, and Ginaudi's into the lead of the Grand Prix. Bradders is down into P2. Red Wildfire is still getting a top 10 finish here, so maybe not actually. Is Bradders going to make the move? No, Ginaudi is your race leader on lap 16. Jake the Lad is now 1.4 behind him. He has been flying these last couple of laps. That is LT Spears in the Alpine that loses a few positions as they go down in towards Stavelot. And Jornborn in the Williams all over the back of the Sauber of Red Wildfire. Vincenzo and Nimblecat. Vincenzo on them fresh intermediates has clad into Nimblecat. Nimblecat is rounding into the gravel. Wow, that was very lucky. Nimblecat, fair play to him because he held on for dear life there. And Nimblecat with some exceptional racing skills managed just to hold on to his car. Bradders looks like he might be busy typing in the Twitch chat the way he was just running off the track there. Ginaudi is now your race leader. Bradders and Jake the Lad, the two gold drivers. So Merckx as well is going to make the move on Mad G. So at the moment it's Ginaudi, Mad G and Don Dedge in for the podiums. Nimblecat has gone for the fresh intermediates, but my God, he sped into the pit lane in the rain, and that has cost him 10 seconds. That is so unfortunate, but he's going to try something. Here comes Jake the Lad on Bradders, the two gold drivers, as they go down in towards Stavelot. No, sorry, not Stavelot. Oh, they nearly touched the Red Bull and the McLaren. The Papaya will have the inside. Jake the Lad will have the outside into Stavelot. Now down towards Paul Frere. It is Jake the Lad up to P2, and Bradders, he doesn't seem to be cooking anymore, down to P3, and he's losing a lot of time. Maybe feeling the effects of them intermediate tyres. So Jake the Lad chasing down Ginaudi in towards the bus stop chicane. So Don Dedge, the championship leader, currently in provisional P3. He'll be happy about that. That's good points on the board. This is just what he needed to do. Remember, the silver race is on at 12 o'clock because the Grand Prix is on at 2 again. Red Wildfire in the Sauber. On the back of the Jornborn. Bullcat will be looking at getting some laps in on them fresh inters. Ginaudi will try and hold off Jake the Lad. Oh, that is Spears through on Red Wildfire. Down the Kemmel Straight, the Alpine is up to P13. Red Wildfire just slotting in behind. Jake the Lad is now your race leader on lap 18. The gold driver. And Bradders starting to lose a bit of time. Remember, the only bronze driver in the top 4 at the moment is Ginaudi, so the others will retire before the end of this Grand Prix. We always have rain in Belgium. I really hope we don't have rain in Belgium for the silver race or the real race. No, I do hope we have rain in the real race, but only slightly, somewhere in between the in the race. I was gutted yesterday. You know when you spend like an hour or two waiting for the F2 to start, and then they keep delaying it by 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then postponing the whole race, and then you're watching, you're setting up the bronze race and Isaac Hadjar wins the feature race. It's like, Jesus. Doug has left the session. Oh, Doug is in P9. He needs to get back in. He will have a couple of invites, so don't worry. AI is on 60 as well, so it's just about good enough to sort of not lose you that much time. It will lose you time, but it won't be as costly as it usually would be. But it gives you a little bit of leeway to get back in quick enough, that's all. Vincenzo on the back of Oliver James. This is for P10 as they go up a Rouge and down at the Kemmel Straight. They are now starting to catch up to Doug. And Vincenzo in the Aston Martin is into the top 10 now as they chase down Doug. Let me just make sure that he has got an invite. Vincenzo is through up to P9. The constructors battle is on the line here as well for the Haas drivers, so this is going to be a real costly points. All the drivers are quite spread out. Now Maggi's got a 3-second time penalty. Wow, that means Don Dedge will take P2 away from him. That is massive. Don Dedge, who is the championship leader. Thank you so much for the follow, mate. There is supposed to be audio with them. I don't know why it's not working, but I will have a look at it and look into it. So, Don Dedge will now be officially in P2 because of that time penalty. Jornborn on the back of Doug, who is back in his car finally. Well, they're really spread out now with 2 laps to go. It's been a phenomenal race actually. Very, very well executed by a lot of the drivers. Only one DNF, and that was in the pit lane. Not a single yellow flag, not a single VSC or safety car. And considering they've done 13 laps in rain, that is a real achievement, and it just goes to show the capabilities and the racecraft from these drivers. And when you say bronze division, you're not talking about a driver's capabilities or a driver's IQ or a driver's racing ability. You're just talking about their speed, their pace. That's it. And it just goes to show when you watch races like this that these drivers might not be the quickest drivers in the world. They might not be as fast as the gold drivers or some of the silver drivers, but my God, their racecraft is still some of the best you will see. Bradders into the pit lane. Thank you so much, Bradders, for reserving. It was a cracking display, that, and really well done to come from the back and go through that many drivers, and Jay the Lad as well. Jay the Lad and Merckx will retire at the end of this lap as well, so that will move Don Dedge and the Mad G into the top three. Viva, if Viva can try and catch up, he might even snatch the podium off Mad G. Sergio Silva 2 seconds behind his teammate Jornborn on the back of Oliver James. Round the outside goes Jornborn. Oliver James into the pit lane. Thank you so much for reserving, Oliver. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much. Oh, a slight snap there from Destroyer. He won't be happy either. Destroyer Drac, it was his debut race, and he started off so well. His qualifying was brilliant, but really unfortunate for Destroyer. It really is how his race ended. So Nimble Cat and the McLaren on them fresh intermediates. Look at CRE Gory. Here comes the Ferrari driver on Red Wildfire. The Sauber and the Scuderia down towards Les Combs. The Ferrari will have the inside line. CRE Gory is through and up to P12. Viva gets a 3-second time penalty as well, which means Sergio Silva, his teammate, will take the position away from him. It doesn't do much for the constructors, but it does everything for the drivers. And CRE Gory through on Red Wildfire. Remember, Red Wildfire doesn't have a time penalty though. Jake the Lad into the pit lane. Thank you so much, Jake, for reserving. The only reason Gennady was catching because my time was off 70%. Yeah, that's usually how races work, mate. But yeah, them tyres are cooking 70%. Mad G, thank you so much for reserving, Merckx. Really appreciate it, mate. What a performance by some of the reserves today, and really respectful on track as well. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you. So Gennady going down the Kemmel Straight on the final lap. The rain is really pouring now, as you see the mist in the background. Mad G in P2, but Don Dedge will take that away from him. Oh, that's a car that's come back out on track. That's a Red Bull. Be careful, lads. Sergio Silva is going to be next. He moves off the track. There we go. Sergio Silva has lost the time. This could be wet conditions here on the very final lap of this race. CRE Gory moves back into the top 10, but Red Wildfire doesn't have a time penalty. She will go in front of CRE Gory if she can stay within touching distance. Gennady is 25 seconds clear of Mad G. That is crazy. Yeah, sorry, I've just seen the chat as well. I know, I've just noticed the same thing. Wow, that is crazy. Don Dedge in P3, but will move up to P2. Gennady with another hugely dominant display on his 3 races back in bronze. He's qualified on pole twice. He's won 1 race and he's about to make it 2, and 2 of the times he's qualified on medium compound tyres. It's just, he is one hell of a driver. He really is. Gennady will come through and the Dutchman wins here in Belgium. Gennady is your race winner in round 6. Mad G is going to come through to take P2, but it's not going to be enough with that time penalty. Don Dedge, the championship leader, is going to take it right out of his hands through the bus stop chicane for the Scuderia driver down to the line. What a display for Mad G, who takes P3. Don Dedge takes P2. Viva and Sergio will take P4 and P5. I think Sergio has had to run out of fuel. Yeah, he's lost so much time. Vincenzo takes P6. Yornborn, who is a reserve, I think, isn't it? So, yeah, he will be out. So, Red Wildfire. Nimblecat will actually finish in the top 10. Doug in P8. Spears in P9. CRE Gory in the Ferrari will come through. Oh, no, Nimblecat will finish P11, won't it? Oh, no, P10, yeah, because Yornborn. I think. I don't know. CRE Gory in P11. Red Wildfire does finish in the points in P10. Nimblecat will take P12. Into the bus stop chicane for the McLaren driver. He didn't have it all his own way, but always consistent as ever. Will finish. And what a race. What a race. So next week, for the bronze drivers, we will go back to doing race interviews after the race. I do apologise. When I was doing the calendar, I realised that there was a lot of races that started at 2 o'clock, and it was going to compromise doing race interviews with bronze drivers. So yeah, I do apologise. But there you have it. Ginaudi is your race winner here in Belgium, starting on P6 and finishing in P1. 27.8 seconds clear of the pack. Don Dedge takes P2 and Mad G takes P3. Viva will take P4. Sergio Silva, the pole setter, takes P5. The Aston Martin of Vincenzo takes P6, and it's going to be Doug that will take P7. LT Spears in P8. Red Wildfire in P9, and CRE Gory will complete your top 10. Nimblecat takes P11. Destroyer in his debut in the bronze division takes P12. Mercs, and then you've got a load of reserves that just come behind. Let me just get a picture of the tyres, as I like to input everything, all the data. But yeah, what a brilliant race, guys. It really was. Always so enjoyable to commentate on the bronze division. Really good. Silver race is at 12 o'clock, Jim. So yeah, once the races stop at 2 o'clock, we're going to go back to doing race interviews in the bronze division, because I now need to get on my account, let somebody on this account to set up for silver whilst I practice for silver. I've not done a single lap around Belgium, so yeah, so we will go back next week when there's no Grand Prix, and we do Bahrain, to going back to doing bronze interviews as well at the end. But I do apologise to the bronze drivers and the silver as well, because usually a lot have been compromised quite a bit with the calendar because of the actual races. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy the weekend. I hope you all enjoy the race. Make sure you tune in for silver at 12, and make sure you tune in for gold at 7 p.m. If anybody wants to reserve, I would be massively appreciative of that, because gold at the minute, we were very close to cancelling the gold division for a few weeks just to get it back up to scratch. So if anybody could step in just to reserve this evening, I would be massively grateful, just to boost up the numbers and things like that, so that we don't have to cancel the race, because the last thing I want to do is cancel a race for drivers that have been turning up because of drivers that haven't. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, thank you all so much, guys. Make sure you tune in at 12 o'clock and 7 p.m. I will be back with the gold division. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting as always, guys. And yeah, if you want to be a part of Formula 7, ! Discord in the chat, come and join us. But I will see you later on.